What's up, y'all? It's your boy Trey Swish back at it again, and today we're gonna be reacting to a video about why it's so hard to find a game you actually like. I think this can apply to a lot of people. It applies to me, and we'll go through it. So yeah, here's the video, y'all.
When I was young, my parents would take me to Blockbuster to rent a video game.
Me too.
Renting a video game. I feel like
Hell
that
yeah.
term is almost alien to a lot of young people today.
Yeah.
But back in the mid-90s to early 2000s, you'd walk into...
I mean, in a way, you still do it if you have like Game Pass or any of these subscription-based titles, you know, because you don't own those games. So
Blockbuster, pick any
still
game you
around
want off the shelf and rent it for...
I just miss going to Blockbuster, bro. It was like a whole journey, just seeing everything on the wall. It was like, oh my god, I've got to watch it all. It was like it was like entering a whole different universe. You know, you just have all these. As a child, you see everything on the walls, and the possibilities just seem endless. Just seeing all the pictures of the covers and everything, it was surreal, bro.
6 to 7 days, 3 days for newer titles, and this to me was considered fun. I'd sometimes rent the same N64 game every weekend.
Oh
Games
man,
like Fighting Force 64, Destruction Derby 64, GoldenEye.
dude, I remember playing a video game. It was Blinks. Dude, back in the day, we were in Blinks, and I didn't return that shit. I kept it. Yeah, my parents were like, we need to return the video game. Where'd it go? I was like, I don't know. I lost it. Meanwhile, I was playing it that night. It was like,
The Ocarina
dude,
of Time. All of these games come to mind.
freaking late fees out of
Bring
the
the game
wazoo.
home, play it over the weekend.
Yep.
Bring it back the following week, and just repeat
sometimes.
the same thing the following weekend. I didn't even have a way to save my game. I was a kid. When I was little, I didn't care about save games or progress or anything like that. I just liked picking up a game and playing it. It sounds monotonous and repetitive, and my god, it was. But
Bro, I hated that you couldn't save the game. It was so sad.
I love doing that. I even remember saving up my allowance money for weeks just to buy the monthly PlayStation magazine. They always had these demo discs that were included at the back of it.
Bro, I talked about this earlier before. Dude, it was so crazy having demo discs back in the day. I remember vividly because one of the demo discs I had for Xbox 360 at the time, I kept, like, obviously I kept it. It wasn't a rental, but I kept it in the I had like a folder for all my games and then a folder for all my movies, and I kept it in the games, and you know, the games like towards the front were the games you played the most often, and that was like the last one on the most popular, I guess you could say, game, like the first like 4 sleeves or whatever it was, because it hold 2 in a row. Dude, I like actually felt like, because I would play the game because it was Tony Hawk Project 8, and it was just like the overall like just level where you could skate. It was my first skating game. I was obsessed with that demo. I also had like a couple other titles, Splinter Cell. There's gosh, I always forget the name of the Snow Planet. It's gonna bother me. One day I'll find that game and I'll actually play it fully. It was crazy.
Play those demos over and over and over again because I love trying new games and getting lost in these worlds.
Oh yeah.
It sounds crazy to me now, but back then I loved it. Fast forward to today,
people do the same thing.
It's such a struggle to find a game to get into. You think with things like Steam, with a massive library of games at your fingertips, or services that offer you extremely deep discounted game bundles like Humble Bundle or Fanatical, it would make it easier to find games to enjoy. But even with all these great services, I still find myself struggling to find a game that intrigues me.
Yep.
But why is this?
Yep.
Is it that games today just aren't the same as they were 20?
I think for me, because I work a full-time job, and I'm just dead tired after work, you know, especially before I started making content a bunch, and pushing myself to just, you know, do the extra work, it was like there'd be games that always like stick out to me and look really fun, but then I would end up like watching content on the games, or maybe even watching I don't know if you do this, but like just watching playthroughs of other people playing the games and seeing if I would like want to play it, and that kind of like cannibalized my want and desire to actually play the games myself, because I was just appreciating the story without playing the games. And a lot of games nowadays are just really cool stories, but there's still, you know, the ones that you need to play to actually like enjoy them.
20 years ago? Can it simply be that I've gotten older and I've grown out of that excitement phase?
It could be.
Or perhaps it's something else altogether.
Could be.
Well,
what is it?
I hope to find the root of that problem.
All right, let's see it. Let's figure it out. Video games have changed.
Let's start with the most obvious.
Not me.
Things. It's not me, it's video games that's changed theory.
Yep.
There's no denying that
Hell yeah.
25 years ago, it was a much more simple time for video games. There was no season passes, no pre-order bonuses.
Oh, the Halo Reach, bro.
No microtransactions. You paid a price.
Didn't pay for your skins.
That was it.
Didn't pay for your colors. Oh, dual wielding. Oh my god.
And were just made differently.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, they were made by people who actually had a passion.
Look at those big old controllers, dude. I hated the Xbox original controllers. The best day of my life back in the day when I was a kid was I got the wireless Xbox original controllers because I could actually hold the controller. My hands were not big enough for those freaking controllers.
For making video games and who were fueled with creativity. Today, most AAA games.
I don't know about y'all, but I always dreamed of going to like a place like this where it was just TV to TV to TV and people were always playing video games. I always dreamed of something like this. I remember they opened up something like this in the mall, but it wasn't the same vibe. It wasn't like a sweatshop vibe. It was more of like a professional drop your kid off daycare, play video game vibe, which kind of sucked because they wouldn't let me play rated M games. It was crazy, and this was back when like Halo was popping. Never got dropped off there again. I was like, Mom, Dad, you better leave me at home where I can play my own fucking games. Come on now.
Today, most AAA games are made by corporations. Corporations that care less about innovation and trying something new. And
I think this is valid also towards Halo because back in the day, when I watched like Bungie documentaries, the dudes that made Halo and Bungie, they just felt like dudes that would kick back, have a 6-pack of beer, enjoy playing video games, shoot the shit with the boys. It just felt like a whole different experience, and now it's like I don't even want to say what it feels
more
like.
About their profits and how much money they can make by doing as little work as possible.
Yeah.
That's not to say that there's no passionate people in the industry, but companies like EA and Ubisoft have somewhat created a formula for making a video game.
Oof.
I like to call it the playing it
Those games are actually good.
safe formula. A formula that's been proved and tested before, that's almost guaranteed to generate revenue.
It's true. Yeah.
Lacks no innovation and brings nothing new to the table.
Sports games are the worst, bro. I don't know why they do it. I think sports games should come out at least minimum or maximum once every 3 years. It would just make sense. You would see more graphical changes. There would be more ability for the studios to actually be incentivized to make new modes and to create new things with sports games.
This may not 100% be a bad thing, but it definitely goes to show that
it is a
video
bad
games
thing.
Today are made with a lot of other things in mind.
Yeah.
That's why you see so many game companies starting to have season passes now.
Ew, season passes, battle royales. What else is a big trend? Shops, free to play games. Ew.
Developers are trying to
Gross.
make yearly revenue off of one IP instead of multiple. Once they catch success with a good one, they just milk it for as long as
Not true. Grand Theft Auto, they haven't released shit since 5, bro.
possibly can, and
Nothing
that's
well
really
ordered
part of the
early.
problem. On top of
The fuck did I just say? Noteworthy? Fucking note of
that, let's
worthy.
not forget that early access is
Goodness.
also a thing.
Ugh.
20 years ago, someone
Pre-order a
told you
game
that
now.
for a price you can play an incomplete game, people would laugh you out of the room.
I think that actually might be one of the biggest problems with gaming today is that with online servers, they can update a game as much as you want. But back in the day, dude, when you released a game, bro, that was it. Like Halo 2 came out and there was the moon jump was in the game. They couldn't patch that shit. It was there to stay. Like, dude.
Sure, there are plenty of great early access games out there on the market, but how many early access titles exist that have just been sitting in limbo for years after they've already collected money from the customer?
Yeah, how many freaking games stay in early access forever? It's like this game's been in early access for the last 5 years. When the fuck are they dropping? Like, I remember Rocket League, I played it for so long, and then I remember out of nowhere it had a season, and it was like season 1. And I was like, wait, what? I'm like level like 900 or some shit, Like, what?
So
What's
have
going
video game
on?
companies changed for the worse over the years? In some ways,
Yeah,
they have.
100%.
You could definitely say that video game companies, for the most part,
Ooh, Modern Warfare
have shifted
2.
their focus from creating great iconic games to focusing more on increasing revenue streams. But it's also important to consider the evolution of video games as a whole as well.
Okay. What the fuck does that say? Things are different now.
When video games first appeared on the scene, they were simple and primitive by today's standards. They were played on rudimentary devices like the Atari 2600
Bro, Pac-Man
or the
goes
Commodore
hard.
64, and they often involved simple gameplay mechanics like shooting at enemies or avoiding obstacles.
Ooh, what a banger.
Way, but they were also limited by the technology of the time.
Yeah.
As the years went by, technology advanced and
That
video
Doom?
games became more complex, more sophisticated. With the advent of 3D graphics and more powerful hardware,
Oh shit,
developers were able to
I know this
create
game.
games that were more immersive and realistic. But with this
I need to find a game on or a video on Modern Warfare 2 and why it's so good, because I need to put out my opinion. God, that game is such a gem.
complexity came a lot of challenges
So
for
good.
developers. They had to balance the desire to push the boundaries of what was possible with the need to keep the gameplay accessible but yet also enjoyable.
Yep.
With all these new innovations and new technologies also came new problems.
Okay.
Games that were made just 25 years ago didn't have the same complexity of the games that we have today.
True.
Today, games are held to a much higher standard
Bro, I cannot wait for GTA 6. God, this game looks good.
than they used to. We no longer judge a game based
Hell
on
yeah.
just gameplay or how fun it is anymore. We scrutinize games for their graphics.
Ooh, another banger. Damn, he's hitting my soul. Modern Warfare 2 and
sound design,
Skyrim.
their
Mm.
storyline and writing, their acting, even how glitchy or buggy the game is. Couple all of this with the fact that game companies have tight budgets and holiday deadlines to maximize sales, and it's no surprise that we have unfinished, buggy day one releases.
Yep. I feel like it's the norm now. So like if a game comes out and it's polished and there's like no bugs in it, it actually like shocks people. It's like, wait, what? What's going on? Like this is not normal. Like what the fuck? Where are the bugs at? Like is this a scam? There's no bugs in the game. Okay, maybe it's me. Oh no.
But perhaps it is us that are changing and not our games. As we
No,
get
sir.
older, our interests change.
Fuck that. No. If Halo 3 fucking came out today, dude, I would be all about it. Come on now.
We have more responsibilities. more
Okay.
commitments.
Okay.
As a kid, my biggest problem was trying to finish my homework, and my biggest commitment was showing up for that raid in World of Warcraft after school.
I gotta say this, dude. It don't fucking matter how times change, what kind of person you turn into, what responsibilities you have. If a good game comes out, you play a good game, you'll know you're playing a good game. It's not like you're playing a game, you're like, is this a good game or not? You know, there's those games that are borderline, but they would be borderline back then too.
Today, I hardly have the time to enjoy the things I loved doing every single day as a kid.
True.
These days, when I finally find the time
True.
to sit down and play a game, I almost feel overwhelmed. A huge open world 80+ hour game seems almost like a burden.
I think that is true, but I don't remember any games growing up that it took for an average player to play like from start to finish lasting more than 30 hours. And I'm talking about just like a single player game, like a story mode game, obviously. I can't think of one. I think that a lot of times these days, these new games have so much content in them, and they just have to have as much content as possible, and it's fucking annoying as shit. So like for me, when I'm trying to do a playthrough for this channel, right, I'm just trying to find something that's not too long so I can start, doing short games, and it's probably gonna be older games, honestly. But the reason is all these new games have too much shit in them, and it's like if they cut out half that shit that's not even necessarily needs to be in the game would probably be better, which is crazy. You think you cut out half the game and the game would be better? That's a wild it's just wild to
Daunting
think.
task that's scary to even start.
Yeah.
Do I find the motivation to begin this endeavor? Or do I simply just jump into a quick online game with my friends? Because after
True.
all, I don't know the next time we're all going to be free to play together.
That is true. Shit, it's hard to find times to link up with the boys and play video games. It really is. It sucks. But that I can say for a fact happened to me. I mean, before I started making content like this, like I would just jump on like Rocket League or Fortnite or Halo or whatever it might be and just play online quick games. I wasn't enjoying like a full story game or like an MMO where you have like progression and you gotta stay up to date on that shit. Like, there's no way,
And as I get older, I find myself slipping further and further down that path. The kid in me wants to play long, story-rich RPG adventure games.
Yep.
The adult in me is telling me no. I just don't feel like doing that right now.
Yep.
I only have an hour of free time, so I might as well make it something quick.
Yep.
I'm sure we've all been guilty of this before, at least one time or another.
Damn, he's hitting me in the heart.
I find myself browsing Steam, adding games to my list of games to play,
Ooh.
more than actually playing the games that are on my list.
It's the worst. It's like you're a little kid in Blockbuster, and you go into Blockbuster, and you're putting post-it notes or writing notes down on games you want to play, and then you leave the store without even leaving with the game.
I'm even guilty of this with Netflix. I'll browse Netflix's catalog more than watching anything on the platform.
Okay, I don't do this. I've never done that before. Where you, I have browsed, but I haven't made notes of like stuff I want to watch and never watch it. I'll just browse for a little bit and then go to a different streaming service and find something. And a lot of times what I do is the exact same thing what I used to do with the video games. I'll end up watching something I've already seen like a million times just for comfort, right? Like Ozark, for instance. I'll start that again, or Breaking Bad. Yeah, Peaky Blinders.
So it comes down to this: do I have enough time to play the games I want to play? Am I getting older and my interests in games are changing?
It might be
that.
Video
games are getting worse.
I think it's a combination of both.
Honestly, there's a lot of questions here, but what it boils down to is this. I think everything can be true at once. Am I getting old? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean I can't still enjoy new video games when they come out. Video games will always have a special place in my heart. Nostalgia aside, video games give me a source of entertainment.
Oh yeah.
And they distracted me from times of depression in my mundane life.
I think and I talked about this on a show today. So like when I get in water, like I get in a pool or I get into a spa, right? I'm like submerging myself in this safe space, I guess you could say, where literally it's a place where I'm like have no worries. I'm there for relaxation, and all like the ideas or what's going on in my life will come to the forefront. It like automatically like filters all my thoughts. I'm just like there relaxing, and it helps me digest everything that's going on with my life. It's very relaxing, especially in the hot tub. Dude, try to find someone that gets in a hot tub and they're angry or miserable. It's very rare, even if they're going through a lot of shit, right? I think video games are considerably the same. It's a space where you can go and all your worries go away. Now it's a little bit less relaxing, obviously, because you're not in warm water. You don't have jets on the back, and you know a lot of video games can engage that trait you have, that rage. But it is similar in a way where you immerse yourself in a world. Same with the movie, you know.
Yes, video games today face new problems that didn't exist 20 years ago. And yes, there does seem to be a general sense of laziness and stagnation from the video game developers today.
Corporate greed.
But on the other hand, you could also argue that video games and the video game industry as a whole is
I love
better
Halo.
than it ever has been. When I think about where we first started to where we are now, it truly is a milestone.
This blew me away. This does not look like a video game. I wonder if this game ever came out.
Despite the negatives, and I can't help but think about the future of gaming and where it possibly
like, look at that shit, dude. That looks like real life. What the fuck?
Can go next.
God.
Thanks for watching, guys. That is the video. I hope you guys liked it. Please
leave
a comment down below. Please like, please subscribe.
Hell yeah.
Let me know what you guys think about this whole thing about growing up with video games. Are we getting older? Are video games changing? Is it a mix of everything? I'd really like to know your guys' comments on that and see if there's other insight in there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
This was a great video. I enjoyed it very much, and I just misspelled the word, but it's fine. I don't care. I'm dyslexic. Dude, this was a banger. I'll give him a sub. Why not? Go like his video if you like the video. My reaction and everything. But yeah, that's the video. I really think it's a combination of the multiple things that he talked about. And I do think a culture around video games has changed. Like I was saying earlier, you know, it felt like Bungie, it was just a bunch of the boys, you know, get a six-pack, kick back, and, you know, shoot the shit, you know, make a game that they would enjoy. And now I feel like it's more like a corporate greed kind of thing. I feel like everyone needs to be included in these games. I feel like, you know, DEI or whatever it might be, you know, a lot of these things are supposed to be positive terms, and you can use them in a positive way. But there's it's like a checklist. I feel like that corporate, you know, these corporate dudes that make video games or whoever funds it go through. They're like, okay, I need to have, you know, a black person, a Asian person, a white person, and you know, instead of, you know, telling a story for it being authentic, you know, I think that's the biggest thing. You know, immersion into games, it should feel like I'm in a whole different world. I shouldn't be back here picking apart the overall script of the game. Yeah, man, yeah, and especially with updates. Updates are a huge thing. You like, now a game, if it comes out and it's, you know, it's perfect, it's polished, you know, it's fucking rare shit. These games are huge, and I get it, all right, and the ability to update a game is awesome. But I think first impressions mean everything in the gaming industry. I mean, I like to compare the gaming industry to the movie industry, right? The film industry, because I think that's the future. I think gaming is going to cannibalize films as a whole eventually. We're going to get there. Ready Player One type shit, right? That we'll have a time where you watch movies in a video game. That might sound absurd, but I think that is the future. But you never go to a movie and then you're like, oh, well, this movie wasn't that good, but I'll wait for the update, right? That's not how it works. You go to the movie the first time. If it's bad, it's bad. No, you know, there are games or movies that get, you know, updated later on with graphics and stuff like that. You know, Star Wars with it's notorious for that. When good old my mind just went blank. When a good old Lucas, you know, used to do that. He used to update his movies, but that's the rare. And to do that, it's more updated CDs, updated streaming services. It's not really in the movie theater. That's never gonna happen. So, yep, that's my take on this whole situation. I wonder what you think. So let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.